Hello, this is Bonnie. I just wanted to tell you something from God. My daddy, God Almighty, he's been noticing that a lot of you don't really believe that Christmas presents could show up under your tree that are not bought from a human being. Um, that's you're having a hard time with that. So remember that you can just ask God Almighty. He doesn't have a problem proving that I'm real and that God's here again, and it's the beginning of the end of the world. Don't worry, you don't end up in the scary part of the end of the world. You're the beginning scientific process of the end of the world. It's actually really easy at the beginning for good little boys and good little girls. And you have an access to God at the end of the world or the beginning of the end of the world. You have an access to God that has never existed before. So you actually can end up with presents from heaven, from angels or me or Jesus or my daddy, God Almighty, or a Santa Claus, because a good little boy and good little girl planet, or when we have planets that truly have good little girls and good little boys, we actually do create Santa Clauses. Or we take human beings or different species that love to love so much that they would devote their life all year to making the dream presents and dream gifts of the world or different planets possible. And then my daddy uses his powers to make it possible for a Santa Claus to deliver a billion presents because it's normally pretty impossible. So I know it's hard for you to believe down here because it's an evil world and nobody really cares about giving presents to a bunch of gross weirdo human beings that are disgusting. But if you're a good little boy and a good little girl and you love to do the right thing and you love all the things in life that are beautiful or good, you don't necessarily have to know my daddy God. But if you truly are a beautiful, good person and you're worthy or you feel you'd be worthy to get some miracle from heaven, you could end up with a present under your tree that's not from earth. I know it's a weird concept, so you just want to freak out, but it actually could really happen. And you don't want to miss it when it could happen to you because that would be pretty dumb to sit here and say, well, what I don't understand is crazy, or what I cannot believe with my eyes that I can touch with my hand is crazy. You know, that doesn't make no sense because miracles exist and they're not explainable. And aliens have been caught on tape. So even if you didn't see one for yourself, it's a little too weird that too many things are caught on tape or seen up in the sky that you know aren't human and don't come from Earth. So really, the possibility that you could end up with a present from heaven under your tree, it's there. It's a real possibility. So really, I suggest maybe you just consider it. My daddy, God Almighty, you make his feelings hurt that you don't believe in him and you don't believe that God or angels would want you to have something beautiful from heaven. My daddy, God Almighty, was kicked out of earth from the devil, or the devil took over earth and figured out how to kick God out of his own planet by working with really big, powerful entities. And my daddy, God Almighty, has been missing earth and beautiful people for a long time. And my brother Jesus, he came to earth and he accomplished a lot of things to help with the process of the end of the world. But he couldn't complete everything enough for my daddy, God Almighty, to come to earth. So this is the first time that God can come to earth in a long time. And he just wants to love the people that are beautiful, that he wants to love. I'm just asking that maybe you could consider it. I always put in my posts that you can ask God to send. I created some monsters. I created these little abstract entities. They look like little abstract art, but they're these cute little tiny entities. And they can come to you, but they can change form. They can talk, really intelligent. They're severely intelligent. They can analyze your brain and become your dream or the form of your dreams right in front of you. And then we also have our angels. We always have our beautiful angels. They fight demons and devils, so they're not cutesy, but they do love you. They would do anything in the world for the protection of beautiful, good people. And we do have Illuminatis. Those are they wear black and white suits. They look like little angels with beautiful eyes, but they're alien. And they're from God Almighty. They help protect from alien problems because we have a lot of, sometimes we have some bad alien problems where aliens want to take over areas that God Almighty owns, and so we have to fight. But everything will visit you. If you pray earnestly and you believe and you want God to prove that he's real, we have a lot of things that we can send to you to prove that we're real. We have created monsters. They look like little monsters, but They would do anything for the love of God and the love of beautiful people. So it's not scary if you just don't get scared. And life does have unrealistic things. Unrealistic things do happen. Or you've seen things on Earth where it can't be explained by Earth. And it definitely doesn't belong to Earth. So to believe that there's nothing would be kind of dumb. There's probably something. And if you could have a little present from God Almighty just to you, or from Jesus just to you, I mean, it's kind of important if you could just try to drum up that inner child inside of you that says, well, maybe, I mean, you never know, and it doesn't hurt to try. And it does matter if you're a good boy or a good girl. Only the most beautiful good boys and good girls are the ones that are going to get a present under the tree. But it would be cool, wouldn't it, to see my daddy, God Almighty, write his name on your present, and you can see God or Jesus on a little name tag, and know that nobody bought it. Nobody that you know, no relatives, nobody bought it, but it's in your tree, and it has their name with their personal little autograph on it. I mean, it's worth trying to believe in things that maybe you don't understand. That's all I wanted to say. I hope you have a good day. I hope you're having a great, happy holidays. Thank you.